think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
Would you back them up? Would the United States help them out in some way?
Depends on the circumstance, but, we're very strong toward NATO.
Something remarkable happened at the UN this week. American President Donald Trump, who just last month rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin at their Alaska summit, has completely reversed course on the Ukraine war.
You're right now not in a very good position.
The man who previously suggested Ukraine should give up territory for peace now believes Kyiv can win back everything Russia has stolen since 2014. The transformation became clear in a lengthy Truth Social post.
After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. With time, patience, and the financial support of Europe, and in particular NATO, the original borders from where this war started, is very much an option.
Trump declared Russia looks like a paper tiger and claimed Putin's forces are facing serious economic trouble.
Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win. This is not distinguishing Russia. In fact, it is very much making them look like a paper tiger.
This represents Trump's first suggestion since taking office that Ukraine could restore its pre-2014 borders completely. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky immediately recognized the significance of the statement. During their bilateral meeting, Zelensky told reporters he had briefed Trump on battlefield realities, and there was a clear understanding between them.
Trump is a game changer by himself if he will be sure in Ukraine, and I think that he is more close now to this situation, and that's why and between us only Trump can. For today, we know some not too much players in the world who can be game changers, but he's the most closer to this.
It's a big shift.
It's a big shift. This post of Trump, it's a big shift.
The Ukrainian president revealed something even more telling about Trump's evolving mindset.
Gradually, Trump realized that Putin was simply sharing some information that was far from the truth on the battlefield. Now, Trump trusts me much more because of the information my intelligence has and that we share with our partners.
This trust appears mutual and consequential. Zelensky confirmed there was also an understanding on security guarantees.
We understand that President Trump that he is ready to give Ukraine security guarantees after this war will finish.
Trump's hardening stance extended beyond Ukraine's territorial integrity to direct NATO defense. When asked whether NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft violating their airspace, Trump gave an unequivocal answer.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
This represents a significant escalation in rhetoric against Moscow, suggesting a willingness to put the defense alliance in more direct confrontation with Russia than merely supplying weapons to Ukraine. Recent Russian violations have tested NATO's resolve across multiple front lines. 3 armed Russian MiG-31 fighter jets entered Estonian airspace for 12 minutes on September 19th, flying 10 kilometers deep and approaching the capital Tallinn. Estonia's Foreign Minister Margus Tsahkna declared his country prepared to intercept and, if necessary, shoot down Russian aircraft violating its airspace. Poland has already acted on such resolve. Warsaw confirmed shooting down several Russian drones over its territory during a mass aerial attack on Ukraine, marking the first time a NATO member downed Russian military assets over its own territory since the war began. Polish President Karol Nawrocki delivered a defiant message to the United Nations.
Poland will always react adequately, and it stands ready to defend its territory. The Polish people, as well as the countries of Central and Eastern Europe, will not be scared of Russian drones. We do not consent to Moscow's ruthless acts of provocation against us and other European nations, testing our reactions and intimidating our societies.
The provocations have spread beyond Eastern Europe. Two of Scandinavia's busiest airports, Oslo and Copenhagen, were forced to close for several hours due to drone sightings, disrupting tens of thousands of travellers. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said she cannot rule out in any way that it could be Russia behind the incidents. When asked about backing NATO allies who might shoot down Russian aircraft, Trump remained measured but firm.
Would you back them up? Would the United States help them out in some way?
Depends on the circumstance, but, we're very strong toward NATO. NATO's stepped up.
The Trump administration's shifting approach became even clearer through Secretary of State Marco Rubio's stark warning to Russia at the UN Security Council. Speaking just hours before a scheduled meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, Rubio delivered an ultimatum that revealed the administration's growing frustration.
The president is a very patient man. He's very committed to peace, but his patience is not infinite. And as he has said repeatedly, he has before him the opportunity and the options of imposing additional economic costs on the Russian Federation if necessary in order to bring this to an end. He also has before him the option, as he has already chosen to do in some circumstances, to sell defensive weaponry and potentially offensive weaponry so that Ukraine can defend itself from this assault by purchasing that weaponry. So I'm here to say to the Security Council, the United States remains as committed as it has ever been to a peaceful resolution to this dangerous conflict. But there will come a moment in which we will have to conclude that perhaps there is no interest in a peaceful resolution.
The warning came as Rubio stated that the conflict appears to be entering a more dangerous phase.
The president has shown extraordinary patience in terms of not assessing additional sanctions in the hopes of having a breakthrough in this regard. And all has come to what appears to be not just a stagnant one, but an era and we've entered a period of what appears to be potential even escalation, with the historically highest number of strikes we've seen over the last few nights and before. And now we are also watching incursions into neighboring airspace by both drones and airplanes.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres appealed to maintain fragile diplomatic momentum, noting that progress on the ceasefire remains painfully slow despite ongoing efforts. He confirmed that recent Russian aerial campaigns have produced some of the highest civilian casualty numbers since the war began, with more than 14,000 civilians killed and over 36,000 injured. Trump's evolution from his Alaska summit with Putin, where he emphasized their positive relationship as key to brokering peace, to his current position supporting Ukraine's complete territorial restoration, represents one of the most significant foreign policy shifts of his presidency. Whether this harder line will produce the breakthrough that previous diplomatic efforts have failed to achieve remains the critical question facing both Washington and Kyiv.